Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the NBA Coverage with your boy, Coach Strib, and of course, my co-host, Coach Williams or Coach Calvin. First of all, before the podcast gets started, this podcast is brought to you by Final Form Subs. Here, guys, you see we have the performance pre-workout. If you want to reach strength on the level of the gods, this is the pre-workout you need. If you want to get God-level strength or you need to replace a drug addiction, this is a pre-workout for you guys. I'm drinking it right now because right after the pop, first of all, we're here at the studio live at the Blend Gin. Shout out Zach, shout out Natalie, shout out Coach Green, shout out Coach Roland. We're here live at the Blend. Guys, I'm drinking this right now because as soon as we get down to the studio, we're hitting the gym. All right, but we have all kinds of things. We have a personal care line. We got shea butter for you guys. We got stuff for your hair, scalp. We got vitamin C serum. We got all kinds of things. We also got creatine, BCAAs, recovery, strength building, losing fat. Guys, go to finalformsubs.com. That's SUPPS, finalformsubs.com. Your promo code, Coach Strip, all caps, no space. Get 10% off your order. All right. Now that the formalities are out the way, let's get into some basketball. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, those of y'all that are new, welcome. Those of y'all that aren't new, you guys know what the dealio is. We're going to start off and we're going to go over the standings. We're going to go over the leaders, and Calvin's going to kick us off for our NBA highlights and news. So, first off, we're going to start with the East. The East, we have the Boston Celtics sitting at number one, and they are 5 games ahead of the number 2 spot with the Milwaukee Bucks. So Boston's starting to build a substantial lead here for the Eastern Conference in the standings. Milwaukee Bucks, again, number 2, 5 games behind. Then we have the Cleveland Cavaliers, half a game behind the Milwaukee Bucks. So the Cavs could potentially make a run here and take that number 2 spot out in the West or out in the East. Sorry, I am speaking backwards today. Number 4 is interesting because Knicks are still holding strong at 4, even though Julius Randle is out, and he is probably out for the next 3 to 4-ish weeks due to, I believe, a shoulder injury. I'm not 100% sure what the injury was, but he is out indefinitely. They're going to reevaluate after 3 to 4 weeks, but the Knicks are still holding strong there at 4. The 76ers starting to slide down a little bit. They're sitting here at 5. Pacers sitting at 6.
They lost Embiid too. That's a big hit to them.
They lost Embiid with the meniscus. That's right, Embiid. They lost Embiid in the meniscus, so they're probably going to slide down here. But interesting, the runner-ups to the in-season tournament, the Pacers are actually starting to make moves here. They're moving up to number 6. Number 7, we have the Orlando Magic. Number 8, Miami Heat. Number 9, Chicago Bulls. Hawks sitting at 10. To round us out in the East, we got the Nets at 11, Raptors at 12, Hornets at 13, Wizards at 14, and the Pistons at 15. Now, for the Western Conference, which is probably the more exciting and a lot of things going on here in the West, we got OKC and Timberwolves are still sitting tied at first, with the first in the West, both being 35 and 15. OKC and the Timberwolves sitting up there, and the Clippers sitting at 3. Not only are they sitting at 3, they're 1 game behind both OKC and the Timberwolves. And the Clippers have won, I believe, 25 of the last 30. They're playing phenomenal basketball. They started off rough when they got James Harden, went 0-6, 0-7. Now they've gone on a tear where they've won 25 of the last 30. And that's also with Paul George in and out, Kawhi in and out. So it's really hard, and a lot of the help coming off the bench and Russell Westbrook that's leading to the success of that. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Terrence Mann. I almost said Tyrese Maxey. That's 76ers. Tyrese Mann stepping up. He had a 50-point game. We'll get into that in the news and things, but guys are just stepping up for the Clippers. They look like a well-oiled machine right now. Number 4, we have the Denver Nuggets. Number 5, Sacramento. Suns sitting at 6. Pelicans at 7. Dallas Mavs at 8. Lakers are at 9. Utah Jazz at 10. Round us out, we have Houston at 11. Warriors at 12. Memphis at 13. Trailblazers at 14. And the San Antonio Spurs sitting there at 15. Now, going into the leaders, nothing's changed here. The points, Joel Embiid, he is out. We don't know how long, but I am pretty sure he will not be crowned as the scoring champ this season because he is going to be ineligible because he will be missing more games than he is allotted to be eligible. Again, for starting this year and on, you have to play at least 65 games in the regular season to be eligible for awards. And Joel Embiid's going to miss that with his meniscus. He only had, I think, 5 or 6 games he's able to miss. And with a meniscus, depending on how bad it is, he's probably going to miss more than 5 or 6 games. If he doesn't, he'll probably only have a game or two for the rest of the season where he's able to miss. So it's looking like Joel Embiid's not going to be crowned. But right now, Joel Embiid at 35.3. Luka Doncic is at number 2. If Joel Embiid is ineligible, Luka will be the guy that gets the scoring title at 34.8. Rebounds, Sabonis at 13. Rudy Gobert sitting there at 12.5, half of behind. Obviously, Tyrese Halliburton sitting at 11.8. Nothing's changed there. Steals per game, again, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 2.3. Blocks per game, Victor Wembanyama at 3.1. Coach Calvin, go ahead and kick us off on highlights and news.
So, man, I'm gonna get into this really quick. Just as far as that, I'm gonna go back to the standings and everything, man.
Okay.
And my predictions and everything. Obviously, with Joel down, I do see, and to be honest, man, I think he's gonna be out until probably the playoffs if he does come back. If he does, to be honest, I think they're gonna save him and everything like that. If he can't come back, they're gonna definitely use him in the playoffs. They may give him like a few games to get back in rotation and everything like that, but yeah, that's a big loss to them, especially with him having so many awards on the table and then him having 5 games and now 5 games to miss and now he has this. It just kind of sucks for him. But I think they're gonna drop down. To be honest, I want to say I can see them if the Pacers keep on playing at the pace that they're doing right now. I can see the Pacers taking that 5th spot, and then maybe the Orlando Magic's maybe slipping up too, and maybe passing them. I don't know for sure, but we'll see as this goes on and everything and what transpires.
Right.
Man, the Bulls losing Zach LaVine. I can see them definitely dropping a little bit too. And if that whole trade comes out with Murray and everything, I can see the Hawks dropping too. Which I don't know who will kind of. I don't know, man. The Raptors been playing good here lately, so I can see them make a little push and everything to that 9th spot if everything probably goes as planned and everything. Because I think they're only 5 games back. Hold on 1 second, I accidentally hit that. They're only 5 games back from the 9th and 10th spot right now. So I definitely think that is something they can achieve. Going into the Western Conference, man.
Quick point, I misspoke earlier. It was Tyrese Maxey that had the 51-point game for the 76ers, not Terrence Mann. But Terrence Mann has been playing well. But I just want to correct I misspoke. It was Tyrese Maxey.
Tyrese Maxey definitely been on a tear this year, man. And I actually watched the interview with him the other day, and he was just speaking on just like, obviously, vets giving him pointers and everything, him playing with probably one of the best centers in the league and everything like that, man. So shouts out to him, man, because his game has definitely improved, and you can definitely see that through just his play and everything too, like that. Going into the Western Conference, man, like I said, I think the Suns will probably move up maybe just 1 spot. It seems like their big 3 is kind of getting together and everything like that. It seems like they're trying to figure it out. The Clippers, man, like that's a scary fucking team right now, just to be completely honest with you. You got 2 of one of the best two-way players in the league right now. Then you have probably one of the most talented scorers in the league too, that can get to the line, get easy buckets. And then you got Russ coming off the bench that gives you energy, man. Like that's a solid team right there, just in those 4 guys right there. And then you got Terrence Mann that's been on a tear as well and everything like that too.
Yeah, coming off, he's been really helping with coming off the bench.
Yeah.
If you look at his stats, his stats won't speak for this. His stats won't give him justice. If you look at his stats, he's not averaging crazy numbers. But if you look at his efficiency, and because he's obviously coming off the bench behind Harden, but his efficiency is what's been phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
And he can also guard the perimeter well.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Kings, they doing good. I'm gonna say this right now, man. for some reason, I don't know why I have this feeling, but I feel like the Pelicans will be a sleeper team in the West to make some noise. I feel like that is a team that can definitely push a 7-game series and everything because they compete. As long as Zion plays well, Brandon plays well, McCollum plays well and everything, man. If you can get at least 20 points from those guys, that's 60 points right there. Your bench is going to help out too as well. You got what's that guy's name? Left-handed shooter. His name's like Robert or something like that. He's two-way player, man. He can come off the bench. He can start. I mean, he can give you about 10 to 15 points too as well.
You're talking about Robinson Earl?
Yeah, Robertson Earl. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a solid player, man. I mean, dude, and this hurts for me to say this, but like obviously the Lakers, they're still down right now, man. I don't know what's going on with them. My predictions about the Rockets saying that they were playing too good early in the season. You see where they're at right now. They're 11.
Yeah.
And then, man, you got the Warriors at 12. And we just saw Steph Curry just drop 60 points in a loss, man. If this continues and they don't make the playoffs, man, I really do see some drastic shit gonna happen during offseason with them. They may have like a brand new team. If this happens, man, they're definitely trading Clay. I think Draymond definitely is gonna be out of there too. If whatever they can get out of him for his trade value, I don't know where he would go, to be honest, in the NBA. I definitely think Clay will go to the team and everything. I just don't know what team that would be for.
Right.
But yeah, man, that's really what I had to say about the standings and everything like that. So I gotta bring this to light, man. What do you think happened? Actually, know what? Pause on that. I'm actually gonna come back because I feel like that's gonna actually be like a good conversation. So for most improved player of the year, who do you got?
Most improved?
Most improved, yes. Who do you have? And I'm gonna tell you my top 3 right now, and I think this guy is going to win it just because he's been on a damn tear this year.
Most improved.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you gotta put Halliburton in there.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just because of his play. Oh, most improved. I'm trying to think of guys. I'm trying to think of guys like I'm trying to think of like a Tyrese Maxey kind of guy.
It's funny because I have him as my number 1 right now.
Tyrese Maxey?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, up there. Yeah, Tyrese Maxey was a Halliburton. I'm trying to think of it. Let me think of a third. Let me give you 3 names. I'm trying to think.
I'll give you 2 right now. I'll say Jalen Johnson from the Atlanta.
Jalen Johnson
from Atlanta, and then Jalen Williams from the Thunder. Those are my top 4 right there. But I think Maxey by default is going to win it just because, I mean, not to discredit Halliburton for what he's doing. He's been playing good, but Maxey has been, I mean, how
right.
like it's just the way he's been scoring, man. He's been playing hella good, and it's not just off of 3. He's been getting to the bucket, getting to the lane. He's like I'm not going to compare him to SGA, but his craftiness is almost on that level. You know what I'm saying?
I got 2 names for you.
Okay.
Cam Thomas and the guy from the Bulls, Kobe White.
Okay.
Because remember, Cam Thomas to start off the year was going crazy. I think
kind of slowed down a little bit.
I think actually was that the start of last year? Because didn't he get traded mid last year, or was that earlier this year where he started the tear of like 30? He was averaging 30 like the first 5 games or something like that.
I think that was he traded?
I thought he was a part of a big trade in the middle of the season for the Nets. I don't remember.
I can't think where he came from though.
I thought he came from the Suns. Or was he drafted?
Nah, man. I think he was drafted by the Sun, by the Nets. Because I remember when Steve Nash was the coach, he had a comment and it went viral of like,
yeah, he did get drafted,
mm-hmm.
and it wasn't the trade, but I think you could throw him up there because he went from averaging 8 points his first year, 10 points last year. He's averaging 21.7 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of guys. Tyler, obviously, yeah. I feel like there's maybe a handful of names you could throw in there.
Yeah. All right, man. This is the biggest one that I want to ask you. What the hell was going on within the Bucks organization and everything when Adrian Griffin got fired? Because they were top 3 in the league. I think when he got fired, they were 13 and 3. No, they were 30 and 13 and everything. What is your prediction on why you think he got fired? Do you think it was more of a locker room problem, or because that doesn't like when you see that come up, you're like,
right. It doesn't add
winning.
up.
They're winning. Like what's going on? Like, so from you, what do you think?
Okay, because I'm glad you asked. Because when it happened, I saw it. I was actually here at the gym. I saw it on the breaking news from sports, and I thought exactly what you thought. What? I looked it up. I was like, could have sworn Bucks were doing well. I had to look up. I was like, let me look. They were third. I think they might have been second or third in the East. I was like, this doesn't make sense, right?
The math.
They had only lost 13 games at the time. We're 40 games in. They were 30 something and 13. I was like, this makes no sense. Here's what I think it is. There's 2 things I thought at first. Now I'm thinking it's only one. At first, I'm thinking locker room, right? The players and the coach. There's some kind of disconnect between the players and the coaches, or the head coach, I would say. And so I'm like, okay, maybe there's something going on. There's some tension between Giannis. Obviously, you look at Giannis. He's the face of the franchise. He's one of the faces of the NBA because he has with the Bucks, he has LeBron Poole, right? By LeBron Poole, I mean, if you're the GM or the owner, you're going to go, hey, are you good? Like, are you happy here? You want to keep him. So I don't know if there was tension there because, the media, Giannis is drawing up his own plays. Giannis refused to be subbed out, this and that. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's tension. But once I don't know if you saw that press conference where they asked him, was there tension between him and the head coach? He said, tension? There's no tension. I invite him to my wedding. Like, I invite him to my place. He goes, I love the guy. So now I'm like, okay, I don't know if there's tension between player, coach. I don't know, unless he might be trying to cover it up and try to keep it in-house. Right. I don't know. Or what I think is something's happening back office, like separate from players. Something's happening between the GM and the coach, or the owner and the coach. Or I think this is the most likely case. Something is happening, whether it was just tension, headbutting, a disagreement on what to do, where to go, who to start, et cetera, et cetera. But I think there was some front office headbutting. And then, I don't think it was anything crazy like the Ume Ikudoku, or however you say his name, where there was that, affair going on. I don't think anything crazy like that. But I think maybe I think there's tension in the front office. Something went on that there was headbutting. Because I don't think tension between a coach and a player is justifiable to fire mid-season and y'all are winning, right? If there was tension like that and they were losing, that makes sense. If they were dead last in the East and Giannis is like, no, I'll call my own place because they're losing, that makes sense. I think the media might be trying to make it seem that because I feel like there's going to be times when you're Giannis. We've seen LeBron do it where he calls his own player. He's like, nah, screw that. We're going to do this. But that doesn't mean him and the coach are at feud with each other. Right. It's just in that moment, LeBron's like, hey, I'm on the court. This is what I'm seeing. Let's do this, right? And if you're a good coach, you're like, you know what? You're on the field. What do you guys see? Kind of thing. So I don't think it's that because, like you said, they're winning. Even now, they're still second in the East, right? So I think it's front office. To me, I'm smelling front office issues between maybe GM or GMs. Something, some guy that's hired, maybe a developmental, whatever. I don't know how many different positions there are above the head coach, but That's what I'm thinking. That's what it smells like to me.
Yeah, I think the same thing too, man, because that just doesn't add up to me. Like I said, the math ain't mathing on that one. But yeah, it is different, man, when you're a head coach and obviously, players and coaches have their differences and everything like that. You work through it. But once you kind
Right.
of have front office issues and everything, and it transpires, like obviously we don't know the situation and everything, but like once it gets to front office stuff, man, it can go either way, to be honest.
Yeah. And then that's why I think another reason why I think it's front office is because we don't know. Like there's no details. When it's front office, it's usually kept in house pretty well. And uh that's usually like if it wasn't front office, I feel like we would have more information. Usually players will talk and this and that. But when the first reports came out, it goes apparently players were lost, it was super broad. Players lost faith in head coach. How do you lose faith in your head coach if you're
And you winning.
30? You're winning. You're 30 and 13th. You're in a position to have the number one seed come playoff time if you play your cards right. Like it didn't make sense, right? They were super broad. Nothing was very specific. Of Giannis and other teammates didn't see eye to eye with coach. Just like nobody sees eye to eye all the time. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much just no information that makes me think, okay, this is front office stuff, and they're keeping it in house, which they should. I'm not saying tell the world whatever business. I think they should, but because we don't, that's what makes me think it is in office or front office because they're keeping it in the house so well.
Yeah, I agree, man. But it would be
shout out Doc Rivers.
You say what?
Right. Shout out Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers is for those of y'all don't know, Doc Rivers is the one that is that new head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, and he's coaching the All-Star team. So I mean, shout out Doc Rivers. He's the coach for the All-Star team too. So
that boy just got hired, and now he about to coach the All-Star game.
Bro, what? Was he an assistant coach somewhere? Where was he? Was he assistant coach for the 76ers? I think he was like an assistant. Like he wasn't a head coach anywhere, I don't believe. He was like an assistant coach or something, and then he gets hired as a Milwaukee Bucks head coach, and then as soon as he gets that, all right, you're the head coach for the East All-Star team. It's like, whoa. My buddy got pulled. He knows some people. That's what it seems like.
Let me see this real quick because I want to know. I really want to see where he was.
Because when somebody posted it, he had a 76ers. Obviously, he was the head coach there, but I don't know if he was an assistant at 76ers or maybe like one of those developmental coaches or like advisory coaches or something like that. But shout out Doc Rivers. He got a lot of hate for that. He got a lot of flack for taking that position. Because I remember Gilbert Arenas was on his pod saying like, I mean, I get his point, but he was like, why does this man keep getting jobs? Because, he went to Celtics, won a championship, and then didn't do anything. Went 76ers, he went to the Clippers, didn't do anything with the like. I get what he was saying, but Gilbert Arenas was like shook or didn't think he deserved to get it, I guess. He got a lot of flack.
I think the reason why Gilbert thinks that way is just because it's his name, Doc Rivers. Like, I mean, that name holds weight in the NBA as a coach, I think. Even though that when he was a coach at the Clippers, they should have won multiple titles, in my opinion. But they didn't. And then they say the big three and everything with the Celtics. That was a big four. They only came and won one championship because LeBron came to the Heat and fucked everything up for them. So, I mean, and then the 76ers, I mean, dude, he did the same thing what he did with the Clippers, man. Like, they got to the playoffs and everything, and they just shit the bed. I mean, yeah, I hope that does not happen with the Bucks and everything. I just hope that doesn't happen. Whatever they're doing, whatever system of offense that they're running, keep it. Don't change nothing. Just come in, let them play the rest of the season. You want to add in some new stuff and everything, do that shit in the offseason. Don't fuck up what they got right now. Because he has a track record of fucking things up.
And he got to get through he got to get through our boy to get to that ship. That Jimmy B.
Yep.
I don't care what ranking Miami has. Come playoff time, if they're not top 4, they're my dark horse team. I don't care if they got a play-in tournament or not. They my dark horse team.
Let's say so. I'm going back to the standings right now. So these are the people that I think that can give them hell. To be honest, not hell, but like give them competition and everything. Right. Obviously, the Celtics, the Cavaliers. I don't really know about that until Darius Garland comes back and everything. I just really don't know about that one. Damn, the Cavs are third.
Yeah, oh, wow. And then who's right after them?
The Knicks. Once Julius Randle comes back,
that's all I'm saying.
Julius Randle comes back, and like I said, since OG Anunoby joined that team, bro, they won that trade. They won that trade. No, I'm telling you. Then the Pacers, they can give you a little rough around the edges too. They can compete with you, especially with Halliburton and Miles Turner. No, Miles Turner's not.
12 assists a game. That's a problem. He's a problem.
And don't let him get hit. Don't let him heat up either too, because he will.
Oh, he'll give you 30 points and 12 assists easily. If you're not on your P's and Q's.
Exactly.
Miami, I'm telling you, Miami.
So I'm gonna go out on a limb. I feel like the Magic can push a 6-game series just with who they have and everything.
I disagree with that one. I can't go for that one. So. They're too young. I think they're too young for a playoff push with the Bucks against Giannis. You think so? Yes, I think they're too young. I don't think they. I'm not saying they're a bad team. They started off great. They were third, but like we talked about with the other younger teams, like Houston. They could maintain that momentum, and then you got to think about it. You got Giannis. Don't forget, they also have Dame time on the perimeter. You got Giannis, and you still got Chris Middleton that'll give you a bucket in the mid range, and he's playing better. So I mean, that's tough. That's tough.
I'm gonna go. I'm saying that because I'm a Magic fan. So, then obviously, we got the Heat. You can never count that man Jimmy out. So.
Never. As long as I live.
That's about it, because the rest of the teams really ain't shit. So I'm sorry to say that, but it's true.
Is that all we got?
That's all I got. Until next time.
Yep,
until something.
We're coming up on our time here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you guys for tuning in on this week's recap of the NFL. I always do that. I be switching in and out between the NFL and the NBA coverage. But guys, check us out. We're on YouTube, IB Talks Podcast Network. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're really just Spotify, because Apple and Google are getting rid of their podcast platforms soon. So Spotify, IB Talks Podcast Network. Like, subscribe. We're trying to grow, guys. Again, finalformsubs.com, y'all. There's subs that really support the pod. We can keep dishing these out to you guys. But until next week, we'll catch you guys next week. And don't forget, ball is life. We's out. I ain't gonna chase my